Bros. And I have a conclusion to that, so I think that's fine.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Good episode, guys. Let's get out of it.
At least. That's it. Fantastic. That's it. End of the episode.
Yeah.
And what the audience are going to see now is the start of the episode, essentially. This is Bravo Bros. And welcome to the first episode here on Go Again Gaming. And got two Bravo Bros with us today. I'm only a baby Bravo Bro, but these guys in the chat as well, as you can see, a little bit more experienced than me. So I'll throw it over to them. So first of all, we've got Pascal, which is somewhere on the screen. I don't know where it's going to be yet. So how's it going?
Hi. Good.
I'll put my hand down.
Yes, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I started Flesh and Blood pretty much at Monarch, and pretty early into my journey, I started to play Bravo as my main hero. And I've stuck to it ever since. I dabbled in other heroes. I also needed to look at what are the weaknesses of my matchups, of course. And I'm still a Bravo main, so I have quite the experience to share and thoughts also to compare other players to who also dabble into Guardian.
Nice. Fantastic. And then Tom, what's your experience with Bravo? And who are you as well? What do you do? Where do people find you and all that?
My name's Tom. I host a podcast called the Big Boss Book Club. Primarily a gaming hobby podcast, even though it seems to be diverting more and more frequently to flesh and blood centric content. I actually started with Bravo with the Welcome to Wrath starter decks when they were released in the UK. Yeah.
Oh, right. Nice.
So it wasn't the hero I ever actually planned on really playing. I actually bought him to make up shipping. And and then I actually got into Guardian when Oldhim was previewed, because I loved the look of Oldhim, big shield, big hammer, and then I just bought up all the Guardian cards, and that pretty much by default put me onto Bravo. And speaking with Pascal there made me actually build a deck and start playing him. So yeah,
that's right. Yeah. So
it happens.
Yeah, exactly. As soon as you speak to Pascal, you just want to play the big Guardian, flowing locks and all that sort of thing. And speaking of which, there is an interview on your podcast with Pascal. So I'll link that in the description box below for people that want to listen to that. But it's going to be a lot of us three chatting Bravo. Pascal, I'm not sure if you shouted out where your Twitter is. So what's your Twitter handle? There will be images on screen, but
it's at Superworm.
Yeah.
Because little me was too dumb to write super, so Supper.
So what is the story behind Supper Worm, first of all? What's that then?
I wanted to have a cool name for online gaming and so on, so I thought, okay, super is nice, but like Superman and something is too cheesy, so I want something cool combined with something very little, so I wanted super warm.
Okay.
But then,
nice.
Since I'm not English native and I never looked up how to write super, I thought, super has a pretty hard P, so let's just do both two P's. Now it's Superworm, and I think it's a genius mistake because now I prefer the name Superworm.
Oh, nice. Fantastic. Well, it's unique, isn't it? So yeah.
Absolutely.
Brilliant. Yeah. So the link to Tom and Pascal's chat will be in the description box below. And my journey with Bravo has only just begun, essentially. So obviously we've heard that obviously Pascal started in Monarch, Tom started looking at Oldhim, and then looking into Bravo as a result of procuring all the cards. And my journey started the other day actually when playing UPF with Bravo. With a few patrons, and I actually won that battle with a sledge version of Bravo.
Nice.
So
very nice.
So yeah, I mean, I'm still learning. Sledge is probably not the optimal option. We'll probably go into a completely separate episode about the weapons and all that sort of thing that you can use. But I just thought, big hammer, want to smash. And a lot of people said, "Oh, Az, you got long hair, you should play Bravo, etc." So I was like, "Yeah, all right then, I'll give it a go." Really, really enjoyed it. and he's got some horrible, big, huge, tall, crushing attacks, no pun intended, which is just debilitating to the opponent, which is why I like Azalea, because she interacts with the opponent in certain ways, but Bravo's just on another level with regards to what he can do, essentially. And he can block as well, which is always good.
He can block. He is, as to quote Andrew Donnelly, he's Guardian, not Attackian.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
Shout out to Andrew Donnelly in the chat. But yeah, so yeah, I'm very, very new to Bravo, and yeah, just enjoying him at the moment. I don't know whether I'm ever going to be Pascal level with regards to pilot. But yeah, there's definitely a few questions that I'm going to ask the masterminds on this panel with me over the episodes that we do. So,
I mean, it's not difficult. You just attack at the right time and block at the right time. That's it.
That's it. Yeah. Brilliant. But yeah, hopefully this series is going to help you sort of learn the hero, sort of master the hero, and just enjoy the hero all at once, because that's like our perspectives in a nutshell. We got various people on here with different skill levels, so and different journeys as such. So yeah, should be good fun. And the journey starts with learning the game and learning Flesh and Blood. So the main question that we want to ask today, these episodes will be shorter, sort of bite-sized chunks of Bravo as such, if there is such a thing as a bite-sized Bravo.
No such thing as a bite-sized Bravo. Is it? Bravo. Big time Bravo.
You just have to take very big bites, though.
Very big bites of it. Exactly. But yeah, so that's what I like to do. I go off the rails, when I'm trying to say something, it turns into something else. But yeah, so this first episode is about learning Flesh and Blood, and if Bravo is a good hero to learn Flesh and Blood with. Because it wasn't the first one I played with, but I've heard from a lot of people, and done a few streams in the past, and DM Armada's popped in and said, Bravo's a really, really good one to start to learn to play with. So it's interesting to hear that from someone who's been creating content for a while. So as you guys are on different journeys of Bravo, do you think, we'll start that off, just throw it out there, is it a good hero to learn with? Because at first glance, his attacks are really, really costly. You have to run a certain amount of blues in the deck in order to make it work and all that sort of thing. So at first glance, for me, I thought I was quite overwhelmed by the fact that all this stuff cost a lot of resources to play. So what's the thoughts on that? Is it a good hero to jump in with to start?
Okay, that's two different questions you ask. One is it a good hero to learn the game?
Yep.
And the second one, is it a good hero to start the game? To the first question, absolutely. To the second question, maybe not so much.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, you can jump in pretty early in playing Flesh and Blood into playing Bravo, but I think for your very first game, or how to learn the game in general, I think a very aggro list where you don't have to think too much about blocking, where you just smash attacks out, is the best way to just learn. Okay, I can learn attacks and attack reactions now. I know what Go Again does. I know what equipment do. Okay, that's fine. And if you have like this basic knowledge, I think it's a very good jump to Bravo, because Bravo has still some aggression left in him, where he can overwhelm his opponents. But he has also very efficient ways to block out some damage, be it arcane or physical. So you can learn very different aspects of the game in general with playing Bravo. You can play a more stompy, aggressive build. You can learn how auras work. You can learn how do building up the next turn works, and also how can I efficiently just play a fatigue plan. He has some flaws in all of those strategies.
Yeah.
But you can learn all the strategies that there are, except for full aggression with Bravo. What do you think about that, Tom?
Yeah, something you pulled up on there. My thing is he a good starting hero? And I think it depends on the format you're playing as well, what format you come into.
Yeah.
So
I always forget that Blitz exists.
Blitz, yeah. This is because when you were saying then, if you're a newer player, you're coming in, you probably don't want anything too overly taxing mentally. That's why things like Aria, Redline Briar, work really well, because it's just zero costs or low cost stuff. It's all got Go Again. It's all very easy to negotiate. But actually, if you look at a format like Commoner, Bravo is really good in Commoner. Like if anybody's following like the Flesh and Common Blood League, Smithel Gaming on Twitter puts out every week the stats for the week. Heroes who are banned, heroes who are played, heroes who won. Bravo is always like top on heroes who are banned because people are like, he's horrible to play against in Commoner because all the buffer you have in Blitz and even in Constructed, you don't have in Commoner. So when you're hitting that Dominate, you're probably going to get the bulk of that damage through.
Yeah, dominate on a hero is pretty good, isn't it? You know, from the off,
Absolutely.
being able to dominate on the hero, and also, yeah, from what I got from both of those things there as well, is about timing as well. Like, you know, it's about knowing when to attack, knowing when to block. I think that's also maybe a good learning curve for someone who wants to learn how to play the game properly, is learning when to block, when to attack, and it's not all about one thing or the other, because it is a back and forth game. So
yeah, exactly. I massively agree with that. Yeah.
So
I think Bravo, as sort of Pascal already says, in a really good position because he can block out. Team Covenant did a stream ages ago where they were showing Zach was playing as Briar. I can't remember who Stephen was playing as, but at the end he made the comment that Briar plays Flesh and Blood really well. She was just saying that it's a back and forth, so she can attack really well, and then when her attacks hit, she can then defend really well. Bravo can do that just out the gate. He can hit you with a hammer if he needs to, but then on his turn he can probably block out a lot of the stuff you're throwing. He plays the game fundamentally really well in any format, but Blitz is a little too restricting maybe for him to be really good.
Yeah, I mean, I tried him in Blitz, and the normal classical build, it doesn't have this margin of error where you can have this one-off turn what you have in CC or in Commoner, where you have this preparation turn. So what I did was, before Crown of Dominion was printed, I did a Sift Earthlore bounty list, which someone on Az's channel inspired me to do.
Fantastic.
And that also mutated to a list that I used at Pro Tour Lille, which didn't work out because I played 3 mirrors out of 4 CC games.
Oh, wow.
And for the mirror, it's just you lose because you don't have the big hammer. Because Sift costs 0, and you don't have that many 3-cost spells in the deck as the normal Bravo. So it is good against aggro. I played against one Wizardry and I destroyed that one. But it is very bad against mid-rangey decks. So, yeah. And with Crown of Dominion, I think it got some more consistency, but let's be honest, in the mirror you will just lose because you will burn through all of your crushes. And you will also lose more cards because you play Sift. You lose 1 card to draw cards, and then lose cards again to attack. And the other Bravo just loses card for blocking, and you swings with the hammer. The hammer loses you cards again because you need to block the hammer. So you're losing more cards, and if you're playing well, you will be fatigued. If you play unwell or too aggressive, you will just lose the game through life. So yeah, I see the problem in Blitz that he isn't too good, but you can still try to high roll with Sift Bravo and just crush your opponents once in a while. I mean, a dominated pulverize for 18 because you pummeled it is pretty bad.
Oh, goodness me. But yeah, that's what I mean. But that's what drew me to Bravo as well. Just on a sort of casual level is the insane attacks that he has. He has probably one of some of the it does have the strongest attacks in the game, right? Pulverize is what, 14 damage?
Yeah, it's the biggest attack in the game, and the second biggest attack in the game I think is Crippling Crush.
Yeah. So
as far as I know,
just an absolute tank.
Yeah, even swing big from Brood is just 10, not 11. So yeah.
Another great thing as well, I mean, with regards to what you were saying about Commoner and all that sort of stuff as well, is the the reason why maybe he gets banned in those formats and what have you. I haven't played too much of it, but the amount of defensive capability that that Bravo has, you know, in stuff like staunch response and other things as well, is hard to get those hits through. Which I think is another reason why a lot of people like him, is because he can just block anything and everything all the time, which is
storage responses are rare.
Oh, you can't use that.
Yeah,
Can't use it in common.
No,
but reason why he keeps getting banned so much in the, because essentially, for people who don't know, in the Commoner League, you have to present your opponent with 3 heroes. You get to, your opponent chooses one of them to ban, and then you choose who you play from the other 2.
Yeah.
So one of the reasons he gets banned so much is because in Commoner, defensive equipment is very few and far between.
Yeah.
So he is literally just going to pitch 2 to dominate and then swing a big hit at you. Or he's going to have the equipment like Heart and Cross Strap and stuff like that, Goliath Gauntlet. I've had a guy play it against me. Goliath Gauntlet, Macho Grande, pop him Heart and Cross Strap. You're just there like
12 dominate, like red one.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, that's fine. I guess I'll be taking that then. And you know, with a young hero, you've only got 20 life, so you got to kind of deal with it. Yeah. So in Commoner, he's an absolute monster, and because it's such a cheap format, and you can build that deck for a couple of quid, probably, and for a couple of quid entry to a format where you've got a pretty top tier deck, that Commoner is such a great choice for Commoner.
Yeah.
Not as good as Oldhim, but we're Bravo bros, so we'll.
Yeah.
Nice. So speaking of the fundamentals of Bravo, why you might be a good choice to start learning the game. What would you say are the sort of fundamentals of where you start with Bravo? Do you start with his crush attacks? Do you start with his defensive capability? Do you start with his equipment? Where do you sort of start building from with Bravo? Do you think, if you're gonna learn to play him?
I mean, I think normally the biggest advantage Bravo has, in my opinion, is his legendary equipment piece, the tectonic plating.
Yeah.
Because you can preserve 1 pitch for the next turn. Mm-hmm. So if you have a bad hand now, you can just use that bad hand to pitch for the next good hand.
So it's like filtering off the bat sort of straight away.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think the first thing you will need for Bravo is by far tectonic plating, and in my opinion as well, Crown of Dominion dichotomy.
No, not dichotomy.
Providence.
There's
a lot of crowns out there.
Yeah, too many crowns.
Way too many crowns now.
All of them are too good. Crown of Providence, yes, exactly. Because the thing is, before Crown of Providence was printed, Bravo was in a very, very lower power level than when it was printed. So I think those 2 equipment pieces are the fundamental of playing Bravo. Then, of course, his specializations and also Spinal Crush. So the Majestic Crushes are also crucial to play him. That makes it a pretty expensive deck, but which deck isn't expensive? Because which deck doesn't run Crown of Providence?
Yeah,
close to every deck runs it, because it is just so good. And it allows you to heave a Pulverize, and if you have a red hand, you can just chuck it under and play a Crippling Crush instead for free.
Yeah.
Which is insane. So this gives the deck so much more fluency that it didn't have before. So I think start with equipment, go to Majestic Crushes, and then you can build up your blue Majestics like Terra Sunder is also pretty important. But the good thing is, the Majestics aren't as expensive as with the Ice Guardian, because we don't run Channel Lake Frigid and stuff like that. And also, the equipment pieces that you need are so fundamental for the game in general that if you pay for that Crown of Providence, you can also use it for other heroes, for every aggressive hero, for close to every aggressive hero, for many different mid-rangey heroes, for Oldhim if you play Blitz.
Yeah. No Crown of Seeds there for you, mate.
Exactly. So I would say equipment is the most crucial part if you want to play in CC. I think if you want to play in Commoner, it's not as crucial as it is in CC. But I'm not really experienced too much in playing Bravo in Commoner.
Yeah, what would you sort of go-to cards be from like a budget perspective? Then do you think, Tom? What would you sort of go to? Is it mainly blocking, or is it just crush attacks, or what's the situation?
I think you're going for the crusher stuff, but you're looking at, I mean, a lot of the stuff is still very much cut and paste from Blitz and CC. So you've still got your pummels, but maybe you're just, do you need to run Crush the Week normally? Probably not now. Yeah. But you'd probably have it in your commoner deck. It's still 3 for 7. You can pummel it. Mm-hmm. It still blocks for 3. Chokeslams. My good friend Martin, who's recently picked up Bravo. Yeah. That was basically the reason for it. It's like, wait a minute, this guy plays Chokeslam.
Oh,
okay, yeah, sign me up. Yeah. Of course, you know what I mean? The picture of Spinal Crush, the Chokeslams, like, I'm on it. So yeah, when we did him a commoner deck, we had a full suite of Chokeslams in there just for the giggle.
Oh, exactly. But, you have to run the cards that you love, right?
Chokeslam is also a very good card.
It is a very good card.
Oh, yeah. It's a very good card. It did win me my first round in last ProQuest, where I qualified for Baltimore. Mm-hmm. I was playing against Fi. I was dominated Chokeslam, and he was like, "Okay, I have a no block. I have now a full hand," and he was starting with Minnowism. I was like, "Yeah." My next attack gets +3, and I was like, or it doesn't. Yeah. I was like, why? Yeah. Chokeslam hit for 8. Crush is activated. That's just what I told you before. Oh, what does Chokeslam do? Oh, I guess I'm dead now.
Wow.
Because he
underestimate the Chokeslam.
He played Minnowism, Art of War, came in with a Phoenix Flame for 0. I was like, okay, no block.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a good thing about Bravo as well. You know, I'm a massive Ranger fan. People that are watching this will know that I'm a massive Ranger fan. Ranger has a lot of on hits. So does Bravo. It's just gated behind the crush effect. So you do have to hit them. You just have to hit them hard enough to get that crush effect. But some of those crush effects are horrible, like you said. You know, Chokeslam. Yeah. I've been Chokeslammed a few times, and you can't use buffs at all, and that screws some people over.
Well, it doesn't affect weapon attacks, so you're good.
No. So Ranger's screwed. Yeah, that's right. Until Outsiders, we'll see.
Absolutely nukes Ranger.
Yeah,
absolutely nukes some Chokeslam.
Yeah, even like I did exactly the same thing as well. Like, I didn't read or didn't understand what Spinal Crush did. It says everything loses go again, not just your attacks or your buffs. It's all of your everything.
Yes.
So on my follow-up turn after I got Spinal Crush, I was like, right, I'll play a take aim, and then I will. Oh no, I won't. Shit. Damn it. But yeah, so crush effects are also another thing that sort of brings a lot of people to Bravo, I think, because he just hits like a truck and they debilitate your opponent. So I do love the crush effects as well.
I mean, debilitate is a pretty good crush effect, but I think disable is better.
Yeah, disable's the little CNC style one, isn't it?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Puts on the bottom of the deck.
Which is also very good budget alternative if you don't want to buy in CNCs right at the beginning when you start the game.
Yeah.
I did run quite for a time. I did run Disable 3 times in red instead of Command & Conquer, and I was still able to win some armories with that. It's just the big disadvantage towards CNC is it's not a 2 for 4. It's like a 1 for 1 sometimes, because maybe they have a defense reaction in Arsenal and can play it. The good thing about CNC is they can't play defense reactions. Your opponent always forgets that.
Yeah.
You must remember that is an effect. So you just CNC, they don't block, or they block with 2 cards, and then you pummel and they want to de-react from Arsenal. So, no, that doesn't work. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
So yeah, the best move in Bravo is still pummel your CNCs and get an extra turn, and also get out some of the crucial cards they have in store for you in the arsenal.
So is that something you do then? Is that you look at the generic, even though you're playing Bravo, you still look at the generics like CNC as something that you need to run, or?
I think CNC is such a good card. You need to run it in close to every deck.
Yeah.
With some very, very few exceptions. Mm-hmm. And that's also what I think is the problem with the card. It's everywhere. Everyone needs to run it. You need to run it in Ranger because of the mirror. It destroys the mirror. why shouldn't you run it?
Yeah, true. Yeah. Yeah. Because when you get into that sort of, that competitive mindset, you look at like your card trades, what you're getting from your card, what you're getting from your card and what you're taking from your opponent as well. Like you said there, 1 for 1, or the Command and Conquer then turns into 2 cards that they have to block with. They have to do that, right? Otherwise, it blows up the thing.
They block with 2 cards. You pummel it, so you use 2 cards. They lose the 2 cards they blocked with, lose the 1 they have to discard from pummel, and lose the arsenal. So they lose 4 cards, have 1 card left, so they can maximum do a weapon swing with the next turn, or arsenal pass, and then you have a whole new turn to attack with. And pummel, CNC pummel, if you do a seismic surge token, costs 2 cards to pitch and 1 card to play. So you still have 1 card probably in hand that you can arsenal. So if you have like a crippling crush on top of that, you can arsenal crippling crush, and next turn you can just dominate crippling crush. Which is insane. You can have an aggressive swing turn, including a setup turn for the next one.
Bloody hell, yeah. Pretty savage, eh? Pretty savage.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Martin is running, because obviously we're sort of working on his deck at the moment. He's running the disabled in red because he doesn't have Command and Conquer.
Yep.
But he's got like a little shopping list of things to do, and CNC is definitely on there.
Yeah. He asked me what he should get first, and it was like, okay, CNC is like such a crucial card to play Flesh and Blood in general. It isn't going to drop too much in the close future, so it's a good investment. It helps you with every hero. So, except if you want to be a very, very, very strange person that plays Kano.
A very strange person that plays Kano. Brilliant.
I mean, I don't mean that in a negative way, but you have to be this one kind of play style you want to play, because in my opinion, it's much like Storm in Magic the Gathering. If some of you played Legacy, where you just wait and wait and wait until you kill your opponent in 1 turn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's exactly what Kano does. Lots of calculating, and if you calculate it wrong, you just lose the game.
You just die. Yeah.
And
that's it.
Yeah, and I think that's a very, very, for me, a very weird mindset, because it is a different kind of game you play there. You just use the blocking mechanics, Flesh and Blood, and play out some permanents in order to combo off later.
Yeah.
Which is something I can't get behind. I think it's very strange to use a game mechanic like Flesh and Blood to do this OTK turns. Also, don't like to play against Kano too much, because you can't really play the game. It slows you down. If you play your game, you die. If you play your game differently, probably the opponent dies. But you need to play on a different way that I don't really like.
Yeah, it's not really a back and forth, is it? It's a completely different game almost, like you said. It's not a back and forth blocking and attacking and all this sort of thing. It's not
exactly.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like it. I know what you mean.
It's just a slaughtering and hoping not to die. I slaughter the opponent until I or he dies, or they die.
Yeah. Yeah. So obviously generics as well. You said about CNC, like stuff like the new stuff like Oasis Respite and Damage Prevention. Do you use any of that, or is that for something else? Do you think?
For the moment, I play Oasis Respite. I also use for damage prevention in general. I use 3 null rune pieces.
Yeah.
I think in the current meta, where Aggro will be very much more around, I don't think that Kano can pull through too much. So I don't think that Kano can go tops too much. So I'm thinking about cutting maybe 1 null rune piece.
Wow, okay.
Not null rune piece. 1 Oasis Respite or 2 Oasis Respites, because I think in the Icelander matchup it's way less effective than against Kano. If Kano comes in with his first Ether Wildfire and you just pitch 2 to null rune and 1 to Oasis Respite and take 0 damage, they most surely can't do anything against that. Their turn is just over. They will most surely try to still kill you. But if you're not too greedy in the early rounds of the game, it will be enough to survive.
Yeah, because if you pitch a blue to Oasis, you can still null rune 2 as well as prevent 4.
Yes.
Yeah, and you're going to be able to do that most of the time with the Bravo decks, because there's a lot of blues.
Yes.
A lot of blues floating around.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So again, so as a new player, as a new Bravo player, or people that are just getting into Bravo, blues are the main thing, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
You have either blues or the very good reds.
Yeah.
Is it blue? Does it block for 3?
Yes.
It's going in.
And does it have 6? And does it have 6 base damage? That's also not too off, because Dromai is coming, and Dromai is a good deck. And if every card in your hand is a popper, they can't really scratch you.
I thought Guardian was tough against was a tough matchup for Dromai.
It is.
Yeah.
Bravo is a tough matchup for Dromai. That's correct.
Oh, I thought it was the other way around. I thought Dromai was hard for
It
Bravo.
depends. If the Bravo player is too greedy and wants to pull through the crushes and attacks Dromai, then he will lose. But the trick against Dromai is just don't attack Dromai, attack her dragons and pop the dragons, and you're good.
Yeah.
And in the late game, when they want to Ghostly Touch Semblance you to deal a massive amount of damage, you can pop Ghostly Touch, but if they have Solonums, or how that's called, which deactivates Phantasm as an instant, when they do that as a reaction in the reaction step, Semblance. When you do that in the reaction step, you can just de-react over that with a stunned response and overpay stunned response to give it +3.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
If they wait until the reaction step ends, which most surely professional players will, you can't do that. So you will just have to. You just have to pop it, or to put more than one poppers on it to block it. So they end up with just Semblance in their hand, and you can still swing the hammer at them. Semblance doesn't block, so in the long run you will still be able to fatigue them out. And with 3 Semblance in their hand, so the Ghostly Touch will go down every time they attack. So you're still good. You just need to be very careful by playing against Dromai. And if a Mirror Guy is there, and you have an active Crippling Crush, don't use the Crush, attack Mirror Guy, because that's way more important for the win.
Yeah. Just making sure you get rid of the stuff that is preventing the Phantasm pops, essentially.
Exactly. Yeah. And you also asked about generics that I use. I play 3 copies of E-Strikes, just for the matchups like Dromai or Icelander, where I don't want to pay for my attacks, but I can just chuck a red under, attack for 7, and wait what they'll do, and have 2 blues in the hand for pitching for arcane damage. So I can still put pressure on it and so on. And also for attacking for 5 with Go Again to Dromai and swinging the hammer at something, or destroying with 5 Go Again on Mirror Guy and hammering down the auras they have, or also deactivating Phantasm. So you can chuck your way through.
Zealous Belting is a good alternative, cheaper alternative to E-Strike as well.
It isn't, because you need to play both. If you have that many Dromai players as I do in my local community, you need to play 3 times of each.
Oh gosh.
Brilliant.
3 red Zealous and 3 red 3 E-Strikes, of course, they are red.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're cost sensitive, Zealous Belting is like 95% as good as E-Strike in most of the times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's just been this first one's just been a little bit of a little mishmash of chat with regards to Bravo, and just understanding where our sort of experiences have come from and how we've discovered the hero. And I think the future episodes will be a lot more focused on certain things and certain questions, but I just thought we'd get something out there to just a little starting video, just showing who we are and how we're sort of discovering Bravo. And you can see the knowledge. You can see the knowledge gaps. Like from me, for instance, I'm the one asking questions. Pascal's the one answering them. Tom's just like, yeah, I love Commoner and I just love the hero. So there's so many different sort of perspectives on this, and I just thought it would be a good thing to do. And I hope everyone who's watching this, leave a comment in the section below as to what sort of subjects you might want us to sort of comment and sort of go into. But it's been really fun, and we're going to be discovering more Bravo and asking more questions on future episodes. But I'll leave you with this question, lads. Is Towering Titan, is it good or is it a trap?
It used to be good because there were no alternatives. I think now it's mostly a trap. It was a blue that blocks for 3. So, yeah, sure. But then Macho Grande came out, and Macho Grande is just way better.
Just better,
And also Terra Sandra is better, Buckle is better. So, yeah, I mean,
Trap.
it was fun. It's a trap, but I used to fall for the trap and I did run 1 red of that in my first blitz deck, and in the final round of the armory, I was able to turn 1 Towering Titan for red, turn 2 Dominated Crippling Crush for how much is that?
21.
21.
21 dominate.
21 dominate.
Wow. That's crazy. Yeah, because I was the reason I ask is because I was playing it in a janky UPF game. No, sorry, it wasn't UPF game. It's in the deck still, but I was playing it against Red Zone Rogue the other day on his stream, and it was just sat in my arsenal for God knows how long, and I couldn't get it out of there.
Yeah, it is a trap.
So yeah, I just thought I'd ask a question, but I need to take those out now. Now that I've got a bit more knowledge.
Yeah.
But
Small hint to you. Every aura that isn't getting you lives or drawing cards is a trap.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it's not like your Blessing of Deliverance, if it's not Bolden, throw them in the bin.
I think the only aura that I would run at the moment is Showtime and Stamp Authority, because I think even Blessing of Deliverance is too slow in the current meta to be good in CC.
Yeah, Andrew's not going to agree with that. Andrew Donnelly's life game list.
I mean, you can play life game, yeah, but I think it's more efficient to disrupt your opponent in the current meta, because if I have 2 cards less in hand to attack you, this preserves you 8 lives.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, but I think in the current meta it's just not as stable as the one that's more or less balanced between blocking and attacking.
Yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much it for today. But yeah, we'll be doing it probably every sort of week or 2, I imagine.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes with regards to how often we want to get them out. Yeah, we clearly got a nice little dynamic here with regards to our journeys with Bravo and where they could lead in the future. So definitely something that we want to continue. And as long as we're enjoying the heroes, it's nice to speak about them. So. And I think the hero-centric or hero-focused series as well are just good for people that want to hear and sort of chill out and listen to people that are as passionate about their hero as they are.
Absolutely.
So yeah, thought it was a great idea. As well, you can come to expect more sort of deep dives on your channel, Pascal. Is that right? Are you
Absolutely,
gonna be doing some stuff?
Yeah, I'm mainly or focused at the beginning. I think I will just do overall how do I run my current meta list of Bravo.
Yeah.
What are my goals, and so on. And also I want to take in every matchup, how I react to the matchup, how I play the matchup. So the people may have some solutions that they didn't have before, or maybe they have better ideas how to handle a certain matchup and give me some hints how to do it.
Yeah, that's right. And we will touch on it on this series as well. We will touch on certain things like we did today. You were saying about how to run certain things into Dromai. We will touch on these things, and when we do, if you have released a video at the time, there will be a link in the video. I'll put it in there that will direct you to the relevant video, which you would have done, or hopefully would have done at the time. So we'll see.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so before we go, we'll just round it off with where you can find us. So I've been Az from Go Again Gaming, where you're watching this at the moment. But you can find me on Twitter at Go Again Gaming AZ, and that's pretty much it at the moment. That's where I'm most active. And then I'll throw it over to Pascal. Where can people find you?
Also on Twitter at Supperworm. I'm also in your Discord, pretty active.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
That's true. I should probably mention that as well, shouldn't I? Cheers, mate.
Yeah, you should definitely mention your Discord.
Yeah. Where the Bravo Bros section is, yeah.
Exactly. That's my my second home.
Yeah.
And pop in from time to time.
Yeah. You should pop in more.
Yeah.
And on YouTube on the D React channel, where I plan to do this meta stuff on the Bravo deck.
Yeah, nice, fantastic. Tom, where can people find you, mate?
Big Boss 010 on Twitter, and then Big Boss Book Club on Facebook, Instagram, and Hive. Do you remember when people moved to Hive?
Oh god, yeah, that
I
was funny.
still have my account. I still have my account. Yeah, it's same as Twitter.
It was a nice,
Yeah.
it was a nice contingency, wasn't it? Just in case, but it looks like Twitter's still around, so you know
Yeah.
that's where we're going to be.
Yeah.
Still there.
Absolutely.
So I'm there as well. But yeah,
Yeah.
generally Big Boss Book Club on Instagram. It's probably where I'm more active, more so than Twitter. I just like liking people's posts and retweeting them.
Yeah.
Just like, it's funny.
Nice.
Yeah, so Big Boss Book Club on Instagram and Facebook.
Great, and your podcast is on Spotify and everything as well, yeah?
It's everywhere.
Fantastic.
I'm constantly finding new platforms that it's on that I didn't know it was on.
Yeah, I know. I think there's like I think there is like a website you can sign up for that then pushes it out to bloody hundreds of podcast hosting sites or something.
Yeah, I do it through Anchor, and Anchor just
That's
send
it.
it to like everyone. And I didn't like. I keep seeing different things pop up on the metrics. Like you're on this website. It's like never heard of it before. Great, wonderful. Yeah, so pretty much available everywhere. Generally releases on a Monday. Yeah, pretty
Awesome.
pretty
Great. Well, we have been the Bravo Bros, and you'll see us very, very soon again here on Go Again Gaming to do it all over again with a different topic. They might not be as long as this first one because this was just you know finding our feet with it and just seeing where it goes. But yeah, the next ones will probably be more focused. We might have some notes to draw upon. We didn't have any notes today. We were just going at it. But hopefully you had a good time, and hopefully you come back again to do it all over again. And Bravo Bros, baby!
Absolutely, Bravo Bros.
I want to. That's it. There we go.
good. T-shirts. That's what we want. T-shirts.
We need
Yeah, we
t-shirts.
want
we need-
t-shirts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, we can sort that
Yeah.
out. But what we also need to do is need to do a little Bravo Bros sign off like we was doing then. So I'm going to say Bravo Bros, and someone else is going to say it.
Bravo Bros.
Yeah. Now Tom.
Bravo Bros.
There we go. That's
Perfect.
yeah.
Bravo Bros.